Well, I mean, there's a variety of ways to assist people that are in need for housing. One of them could be rental buildings, which they're at an all-time low right now in Vaughan. There hasn't been any rental units up for many years. Nobody's really building them. So one way is to maybe provide tax incentives to the builders to build them, and maybe come up with a plan for those buildings for the people renting them, the landlords renting them, to make their fair share of the till, as well as to upkeep them. So not to restrict them from, give them tax breaks as well, offer them that after they build them to maintain those buildings properly.
Thank you. Richard?
I'd like to distinguish between affordable housing and social housing. And what I say is affordable housing, yes. Social housing, no. We don't want to create more problems creating social housing and see things like Jane and Finch, Regent Park, and create other problems that we don't need. We need to create affordable housing, taking a percentage of every subdivision that is built, designating it as affordable housing. And there are many developers that just focus on affordable housing. And we need to engage them more and try to get them to have areas where they can build. There are proposals on the table, but they are held up as well. Now, money has to come from the federal government, money has to come from the province as well to make this problem a smaller one or a non-existent problem.
Thank you. Carrie?
We need to do a lot more to keep seniors who are on fixed incomes in the neighborhoods where they grew up, and the solution is affordable housing. When families first move to Vaughan, there's not a lot of selection that's in the price range that young people with growing families can afford, and this also has to be addressed. One of the issues that or ideas that has been bantered around is secondary suites. Now, secondary suites actually has two benefits, and it provides extra income for seniors when they're in their retirement years and they no longer need a big house and they don't have to move. On the other hand, what it does is it creates density in areas that are not suited for density. But it is an issue that should be reviewed, and in certain places in Vaughan, it should be discussed within the community and supported if the community supports it.
Thank you, Carrie. Mario Ferri?
Thank you. In relation to housing, as I mentioned just not too long ago, the question of getting provincial support is absolutely critical. We have not been getting the allocation that is deserving, and that will be a priority. Although the region does have a pool of money that has been set aside specifically for housing, and what we need to do is make sure that it is used for that purpose. With respect to the secondary suite, we here at the city have established a committee that's looking into that, and that will provide some relief. But we have to do more in terms of incentives for the builders to make sure that we have the supply for those that are in need. And we could use allocation, units of service to make that happen, and as well as other incentives that are available. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael?
Thank you. As regional councillors, I think we need to target housing units for today and also in the future to meet all our housing needs. We need a full menu of housing options, such as rentals, affordable housing, non-profit housing. Now, the present council, as Mayor stated, has funded a task force to make recommendations in regard to secondary suites and legalizing them. That report, I'm looking forward, and we'll wait and see what it has to say. There's a lot of safety issues that need to be addressed. Secondary suites do provide some more units under the places to grow with increased densities. But one thing is for sure, young families cannot afford a house as it is today. It's extremely expensive. So we have to provide housing options for people, for everyone, and to meet their needs. Thank you.
Robert?
There already are a lot of secondary suites or basement apartments in the city of Vaughan, and I think the council's been slow to react to that. I think that's something that is in place already in the city, and I think it has to be something that is regulated so that the safety issues of the people that live in those units is addressed. I think we're going to find also with a lot of the new development plans that are happening in the city of Vaughan that there are a lot of different forms of housing in those plans. Stacked townhouses, small condominiums, to name a few. And I think we're going to see that all future development in the city of Vaughan that's taking place right now is not going to be built like the neighborhoods that are here today. There'll be some more affordable options in that development. But I think we have to also go further to that and explore other options.
Thank you, Robert. We're going to open it up to Lot 1. We'll start with Deb and move it this way.
Just a couple of facts. Only 7% of the current housing stock is rental in the city of Vaughan, and over 25% of the residents are spending more than 30% of their gross income on housing. That's a measure of affordability. Currently, on one organization's list, there's 150 plus seniors waiting for affordable housing options. According to some service providers, Vaughan compares miserably with other municipalities in the region. And this seems to be as a result of the attitude at council that Vaughan's full of rich people who don't need help, and we don't really want those that do. This council has ignored the most in need of support in our community. While Vaughan is committed to a target of 25% affordable housing in their official plan, and they are encouraging secondary suites in specific areas, the pledge does not come with action. We're still waiting to create that task force to study that secondary suites after almost a year of having brought it forward to council. And they agreed to strike a task force back at that time, and we're still waiting. We need councillors who are serious in addressing the needs and not providing empty promises. Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed, this is a regional responsibility, and York Region Council is well aware of the issue and the unacceptable waiting list that it takes years. I do get requests on my own, people call me, and in most cases I'm helpless. However, the region has taken a number of initiatives, and 1 minute does not allow me to go over it, but if you're interested, call me and I will share the information with you. One of which is very quickly to provide interest-free loans to affordable housing owners to complete repairs. There are a number of other initiatives, but the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is that most of the funding must come from the province of Ontario. Social service is a provincial responsibility, and they kind of download some of it, and they ask the region to do the administration. We are building affordable housing in the city of Vaughan, and one of which is right behind our new city hall, which is region has initiated, and the city of Vaughan has dedicated the land. So things are being done. Is it enough? Absolutely not. We should do more, and I believe we will do more. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment on this issue? All? Okay. How much time do we have left? We're going to give a maximum of 1 minute to each. 2.5. Okay, we've got a maximum of 1. Let's go.
In order to meet the requirements for affordable housing for seniors, obviously we have to get some better regulations involved, and other options like Habitat for Humanity. I understand land values and costs are too high to understand that, and I'm aware of only 31 units of seniors residence next to the Civic Center, according to the website on the City Hall. And secondary suites obviously needs to be regulated, and more importantly, we have to stop the utilities from gouging us on our bill.
The Region of York has $53 million in its last budget that's being allocated to social housing, and let's not get social housing mixed up with affordable housing. They're two very different funding formulas, and through our Human Services Planning Board, one of the major things we are studying is poverty in the region, housing, children's mental health, and social services in general. And the big issue is also poverty. So the social housing units that we have throughout the region, the best way to address this problem is to work with community groups to invite them, to provide them with the necessary funds, and together we'll be able to come up with I think, solving some of the issues around social housing. The secondary suites is an issue that's been spoken about. I look forward to that report, and I think that it is something that can happen throughout the municipality, but certainly not everywhere.
Thank you. Dominic?
I think the region has the creative options for homes for seniors and the young family. The City of Toronto has options for homes that offer homes to first-time buyers at affordable rates. They also have life lease options for seniors that have to buy units over the life of the term, and also they supply obviously lands that can be bought at reduced rates to provide social housing for the needs of their area. So the city and the region has to provide incentives and tax deferrals. You can't abate taxes, you can defer taxes over a number of years to give private sector options to build these affordable units, and the need is there obviously, and provide them at affordable rates so we can hopefully meet the supply or demand. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
The lack of affordable housing is not a new issue. It's an issue that's been here existing in the City of Vaughan for many, many years. Current council has not addressed this issue. Understanding that there's funding coming from the province to move forward with initiatives. But the one key thing I believe strongly is communication. Communication to the City of Vaughan, the residents. Not one candidate can have the solution or the perfect solution for this problem. It needs a community of people, committees together working for the solution. One candidate cannot solve all of this. It's a team of players put together and solving this issue that the City of Vaughan has seen for many, many years. And it's time to take action.
Thank you, Joanna.